Hello, this is Laura from King's Belly Physio Wellness. We have a pelvic floor progressive class for you here. I do encourage that you do your own warm-up and get things just moving and warming up before we start, because we're coming straight into the class body. And the same at the end, if you can add in some of your own cool down stretches to just bring that breath back to a nice regular rhythm and just allow your muscles to have that time to lengthen out. For today's class, we're going to use a softball here in the studio, but at home you can use a squidgy cushion or a soft ball of any kind that you have for a little bit of connection to help with that pelvic floor. So have that to hand. Place that down for now. We're going to start in standing. So I'm going to get you to think about your pelvic floor connection as we stand. So we're going to think about what we call a catch of that pelvic floor, that hold and drawing up. As we bring that weight across, we're going to keep that hold on. We're going to then take the weight across to the other side and then let that pelvic floor go. Again, can we catch that pelvic floor, transfer that weight across and keep that pelvic floor slightly elevated and lifted internally? Can we then let it go? So we're going to keep going with that, just catching and letting go. Catching and letting go. Catching, letting go. Okay, we're going to see now if we can catch that and keep that maintained as we do a transfer back across and then release. So we're just tuning into those elements of that muscle being on and when that muscle is released and off. Catch. Take it across in the weight to one leg, take it back across and let it go. Now if you let go in between, then you need to reset. That's fine, just work up and build up to that. Good, we're going to take that lift across and we're going to hold that there. As we keep that on, we're going to come into that standing scissor. Hold that on, we're going to add in a little pulse with that knee. So we're just adding in that little bend, trying to stay still as you can. 3, 4, and 5, and then release that leg down and then let that pelvic floor release as well. I'm going to take that across to the other side, so switch that pelvic floor on, take that weight across, heel and lift into that scissor leg and then add in those 5 little pulses, just squatting just a small amount so you just cover the toes and then draw back tall again, nice one, and then release, good, take that across. Get that pelvic floor switch on. We come off the squeaky floorboard, peeling up, and then those squats. Just mini squats with that single leg. So a little bit of balance challenge here, checking in with those hips being level and still staying connected with lower tummy, pelvic floor. Take that down, take that across, allow that reset. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Well done. Release that pelvic floor as you bring yourself back down to stand. Good stuff. We're coming into our box squat now. We're going to think of folding back at the hips as we press that bottom back behind us. Pelvic floor here should be nice and relaxed, but as we lift and come back into that rise, we're checking in with that pelvic floor elevating. Good, so coming down, lift and rise. And lift and rise. Good, so elevating that pelvic floor on that movement of most effort. So as we get those glutes firing up, we're really coming up into a nice powerful, out of that squat, a nice powerful extension at the hips. Good, so just seeing that from that side on, that fold back, and that lift and pressing back up. Drive those hips forward, and take those arms behind you as you rise. For 4, 3, to keep catching that pelvic floor on that elevation. And 1. Well done. Good stuff. We're going to now come into our running man. So I'm going to come back onto the mat. Here we're going to take ourselves into that scissor leg, so that elevation and lift of that pelvic floor. Then we're going to take that leg back behind. Just come forward so you can see that there as you come back. That back knee can tip down towards the mat. Now we're really thinking of stability here with the hips. The arms can come into opposite. Now we're really staying powerful and stable through the leg, on that standing leg. You can come as low as you wish and sit. Now we're wanting to keep an element of switch on of this pelvic floor throughout the movement. But if you feel you can give that a little bit more oomph on that way up. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's switch that leg, take that across to the other side. Get that connection, elevation, and power through. You can stay a little bit higher into it if that feels better for your knee range or for your level of strength. Try to stay nice and steady. Just wobble a bit there, got it back. Okay, just keep it all going. Going to go 4 more from here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And release down, well done. So keeping up a little bit of that nice warmth we've got in our legs. We're going to come into our wide leg squat. So from that parallel position, walk the toes out, walk the heels out, and one more turn of those toes. Lovely position to get that pelvic floor connecting in. We're going to think about drawing forward with the arms as we lower into that squat. Just get that breath steady. And then open out through the arms as we stay down. Pelvic floor, elevating and feeling that lift internally. As we draw in, we then rise up. So that flowing together, come down, out, stay down, in, and up, and rise. Lower, out, in, and up. Okay, so different position to get that activation of that pelvic floor. I want you to feel a little bit of release and softening as you're down in that pelvic floor. But as you rise back up, that connection just strengthens. Just a little bit more of a sense of engagement on that rise. So just that differentiation, that sense of feeling the difference as you lower to as you rise. Okay, for 3 more. And 2. And 1. Excellent, well done. Walk those legs in and take a hold of that soft ball or cushion. We're going to take ourselves down onto our mat. So take your time coming down, place that ball between the knees. We're going to come into some shoulder bridge. So with that ball, we've got a lovely way to connect and press into that ball between the knees. It fires up in our thighs and will help switch that pelvic floor, lower tummy connection. Find neutral spine into that mid-pelvic position. And then that peel and tilt of our tailbone to rise into bridge. Now, keep that connection on. We're looking at leveling at the pelvis, coming into level 2 now, to that single leg lift. Then take it down. Keep that feeling and connection to ball all the way through to that core. Lower, and then allow that peel back down after each leg has stepped. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, peel and lift through that pelvis, lifting those hips. Release one leg out, diagonal. Keep the pelvic level and check in with that with your hands at your hips if that feedback is helpful. Lengthen out and reset in between. So you can build this up. I suggest you start just taking alternate legs and then reset. So you get that lovely mobilizing to the spine And keeping that ball in place keeps the hips, the pelvis, the thighs level. And release. Well done. Into the arms. We're going to come into our double tabletop with one leg coming up, connect deeper into tummy, lift the second leg. And we're going to bring those legs together. So check in that we're level through the tummy, staying flat through the tummy, and taking those hands up and overhead. So options of coming just single tabletop if that is a better option for you, but this double tabletop will give you a little bit more challenge through the core. Now watch for these ribs, trying to keep that rib cage really anchored down into the chest wall. If we're happy there, we're going to take the feet apart, the knees apart, and we're going to take a lengthen and reach out with the leg as the arms go overhead together. So arms stay together, leg is reaching and lengthening away at the same time. Then draw back and connect. So that connection in that pelvic floor is all just activated at our submax level. So just keeping that switched on with the lower tummy while you continue to breathe. It's enduring and holding for you. One more each side. Keep that breath, helping pace you. As you come back up, check in with that rib cage, then bring one leg down and second leg down. Well done. Roll yourself over into your side, pop that ball to the side now, and all the way up into a kneeling position. So from this kneeling position, lean over to the side and take the fingertips to the mat, and then reach and lengthen the opposite leg out. So we create a lovely diagonal through the body. Check in that that standing knee is pillar-like and straight. And lengthen and take a nice stack with the hips and the shoulders, so we're in that nice diagonal position. Coming into our lift and lower on that top leg. So we're lifting and lowering to the floor. Keeping that underneath knee stacked under the hip. It may feel heavy and it may feel that you don't have that much range here, that's fine. It's into that outer range, so it's a little bit more challenging position. Should also activate more through the obliques because we're into that side propped position. Here for 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to come into some side crunchies. That top knee comes towards the elbow, reach and take it in, then lengthen and stretch away. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Let's take that across to the other side. Bring yourself back to kneeling. Take that lean across and that release out from the top leg. Into that lift and lower. Good. Top elbows stacked and up towards the ceiling. Good. That lift and lower, taking it into as much range as comfortable for you. Check in with that head and neck, shoulders down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're going to come into that side crunch. Take it in and reach it away. For 7, 8, sorry, going down the way. That's 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Well done, folks. Well done. We're going to come into a 4-point kneel and take that soft ball between the knees. So onto that hands and knees, that ball just holding and connecting in between the knees. Tuck the toes under. We're going to come into our plank prep here, leg pull and prone prep. Take the hands slightly further than shoulders. Relax, breath in. As you breathe out, connect lower tummy, pelvic floor. Squeeze into that ball and hover the knees. Hold. Breathing in, release down as you exhale. Hold and hover. And so if that feels quite a challenge, then stick with that level. If you're that connection, you can add in some toe walks at the top and then lower. Keep resetting if you need to, but those little toe walks are going to challenge that stability, but still landing really nice and soft back onto the mat. Remember, choose your level. Go back to the one that felt appropriate and right for you before you bring it up. And slowly down, well done. Let's uncurl those toes. We're going to take that soft ball out and place that to the side. Bring the hands back under the shoulders and into our swimming with a modification. So swimming level 4, opposite hand and leg out, but we're going to pulse that same side up and down. For 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stay out and arc it round to the side, draw it back in, arc out, arm and leg to the side. Last time. Take that side sweep, round and back. So just challenging that stability. Really feeling that switch on through tummy. Lengthen through the head and the neck. Opposite arm and leg into our pulses. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Into those side arcs for 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Draw that back in. Well done. Good. We're going to come into a wall squat now. So find a wall space and come into a bend or a flexion through the knees and a fold at the hips to take yourself just slightly off from the wall. We're going to think about a submat, so about a 30% switch on of that pelvic floor. If you're not sure, come into full connection, maximum lift, and then let it go a little bit, but not all the way. We're going to do those arm pulses as we keep that switch on through the pelvic floor. Keep the head and neck long and lengthened, and we're really going to pulse those arms. Really fire up some work in the upper body, which does create a little bit more challenge in the distraction that it gives. So if you need to reset that pelvic floor as you do it, but we're trying to mimic that functional movement of running here as we get those arms pumping, our pelvic floor enduring and holding through it. So last 30 seconds, keep it going. Keep breathing through, keep checking in where you are. Have we still got that connection and that lift? Last 10. Well done. And slowly release and come up. Well done. So thank you for joining me for that pelvic floor cue and progression of some of your Pilates exercises. Look forward to joining you again shortly.